Yeah, the quality of this video is pretty bad, to be honest. You know, from my camera, it could be the low light. I'm not entirely sure, but anyway, it's not about video quality. It's about quality of what I say, I guess. Anyway, it's January 28th. 28th of January 28th of January 2020. It's about, what time is it? Oh, I've got my computer here. At like 11 p.m. Becky's sleeping upstairs because she's got work tomorrow early, which is kind of bad for her, but yeah, it sucks she has to get so early, but we'll see how that goes in the future. What I wanted to say, I've been typing down like every couple nights, I shouldn't say every couple nights, but every now and then, I basically just journal everything. The psychologist said it's good. I've been doing that for years, to be honest, but I've just been trying to be more consistent with it, going through all this treatment, because I obviously have a lot of things on my mind. So last night I had a big cry and I wrote lots of things down, which is really good. And then tonight I was like, oh, maybe I'll do the same, because I got a mouth ulcer. I'm starting to get another mouth ulcer, and sometimes I feel like it's not the chemo, but like emotional stress that I have inside me. So getting that out and journaling is one way I do that. And then I was like, well, maybe I should make a video because I haven't made one for a while. Maybe that will give me another perspective on things instead of typing it out on if I am emotional or not. Now I've forgotten what I was going to talk about. Great. I'm not even sure. Oh yeah, no. Okay, gotcha. Feng Shui Warrior, chemo brain. Just in relation to where I'm in treatment, I've done. I'm looking at the board. That's why I'm smiling. On my, I don't know if I can switch the camera during it, but on the board I have my cycles, and I've done 6 of 8. So Monday, so in like 6 days, I start my second last cycle, which is cycle number 7, and it's just been wearing on me. To be honest, it's been wearing on me, and I know the end's in sight, but I'm not really thinking about the end, to be honest. I'm just thinking about keeping my head down and just going through my process and my routine of workout and nutrition and all that stuff. But my symptoms have gotten a bit worse. Obviously, my stomach, I go in Monday to Wednesday every third week and for the cycle, and then usually I'm starting to feel better by the Sunday, but it's been going on lingering, like the more cycles it accumulates. So it's like I go up and then I come back down, but they don't go all the way up again. I kind of a bit lower, and then the next cycle, and it's kind of like, then it slowly goes down and down. So I'm getting to the end. So yeah, my recovery is just slower now. So instead of getting better on the Sunday, feeling good, it's like basically Wednesday. I thought I was getting better today, but I still had some stomach issues, and obviously I got the ulcer, and then the other thing, what's the other thing I have? Stomach, ulcer. Oh yeah, the tingling. So you get pins and needles in my feet now. So I can't think it's called neuropathy or something. Basically, it's like a tingling sensation in my feet, and I'm just looking at my feet now, and I get them. I get it. It's just kind of all the time. It's not painful, but it's just like a tingling feeling. And I get it in my hands when I touch cold stuff now, but my feet are kind of a bit more all the time. It sucks. Apparently, that's the last symptom to actually leave as well. Let me just do something here. So what's happened is I have, when it gets past 11 o'clock, my screen automatically goes to grey, just as a well-being. So I just had to turn that off and it's back to colour, so I can see myself in colour now. So yeah, the tingling of my feet and fingers is a bit annoying, and then obviously my brain is just like not that great, and I'm like at the good stage now because it's Tuesday, so tomorrow hopefully I'll be back to normal. But it's even my back to normal, like what is normal, right? Like I've been in treatment for 6 months, and I don't even know what normal is, and that's a bit scary. Well, that's a bit sad, but my normal is whatever. It's not that bad, and you get used to it. You adapt. So I don't want to complain too much about that stuff, to be honest. So what I've got here, I don't know if you can see this, because I'm still learning about my emotions, and it sounds like pretty basic, but like it's like I'm learning the alphabet on how to like express my emotions and so forth, and making sure I'm sharing them, which I can still do a better job with Becky. I'm going to continue work on that. But basically, half the time when you ask a man, well, I wouldn't say all men, so I don't want to generalize, but when you ask a man like how they feel, they're like, oh, good, pretty good, not so good. But when you describe your emotions, I just didn't have the vocabulary to describe them. So I looked online and I found like emotional vocabulary list. It's like I'm learning the alphabet, but it's about emotions. But like, hey, no shame in bloody trying to learn new things. And I always like to get better at things. So this is just that. So literally, I have like a list of. I should know the difference between an adjective and a noun. Noun's a describing word, and a thing, a place, or a thing. That's right. An adjective is an action word. So yeah, there's basically a whole list of nouns, and I basically when I'm writing, I read this list that I have here, and then I try to be like, okay, I don't feel that good, but like let's dig a bit deeper. What does good mean? Is it in relation to anger, apathy, or hatred? And then within that, there's like soft, medium, and intense of those. So like an example here, it's like in this grouping of soft anger and apathy, it's like annoyed, apathetic, bored, certain, cold, crabby, cranky, critical, cross, detached, displeased, frustrated, impatient, indifferent. And then it like in the medium level of that grouping, and then there's an intense level, and they have more words. So and there's lots of different groups. It was a free list online, and so I've been using that to kind of help me describe my emotions. It's literally like learning the alphabet, but I'm 36, I think. Yeah, 36, and I'm learning how to understand my emotions. Which, hey, better late than never, as they say. I'm not embarrassed about it. Well, maybe I should be, but I'm not. But I'm not. Um, but yeah, that's what's going on recently. So why am I frustrated? Well, one of the things I was thinking before was that actually this step back 2 weeks ago I was really emotional. Well, I had a lot of built up emotion. I was trying to figure out what it was, and then it took me about 2 days and a lot of tears. And basically, I was just scared. Right, I was just really scared of the next week. I think just all the cycles together. I just really hadn't accepted that I was scared, and that there's nothing wrong with being scared, right? And so it was good that I got to that point. So journaling, meditation, and then this emotional vocabulary list is really helpful in these areas. Um, so yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago, and then last night, as I said, I had a big cry, and that was just like understanding that I'm so focused. The amount of focus I have for this cancer-free stuff is like every single day, every minute, man. Like cancer-free forever is like my goal here, and I'm looking at my board because it's all up there, and just accepting that like sometimes you have to come up to breathe and like step out of that focus and like just take a deep breath and be like, look, it's hard and I'm tired and I need to breathe a bit and just take a breath. And yeah, basically it's interesting. My dad came up with a saying. He said the the whale that come like I'm not saying it right. Basically, the whale that comes up to breathe is the whale that gets harpooned. And it's quite kind of descriptive of my dad's mentality in general, right? Is he's very much just work, head down, work, work, work. He's retired and he spends like 7 hours a day in the garden. He gets dressed up in his gardening gear, his old ex-mining gear every day, and goes to work, but it's the garden. So I think that the analogy that he used is definitely his mentality. But for me, that's different, right? I'm a different generation. I'm a different person, and for me, like last night, it was just important to realize that look, I need to come up for a breath, right? And what I'm going through is probably pretty intense, I guess, for someone my age. But like, I think that, but then I think I'm like lucky because I got like my parents to support me. I got my wife to support me. I got like such a good support team. So then I sometimes feel like, well, actually, there's people and stories that I've read which don't have that support. So why should I complain? But then it's okay to complain and not you shouldn't feel guilty about yourself complaining about the situation, right? And that's one thing I've learned. Oh yeah, so there's this awesome podcast which Seb got me onto, called Estelle Perel, Where Do We Begin? And I've like literally gone through all three seasons in the last couple of weeks, and it's like a psychologist, and it's one-on-one sessions with couples. It's so intriguing about emotions and everything, and I've honestly learned so much from it. And that's like these things where like you feel like you shouldn't have a feeling because you feel guilty about it, but you shouldn't feel guilty about having any kind of feelings or thoughts, right? Regardless of what they are. So that was a good lesson. That and the other thing I learned with Becky, my wife, is so as guys, sometimes when your partner, well, it doesn't, I don't want to be gender specific actually. Basically, it's a lot of the times when your partner gets emotional, in your head, you're like, how do I fix this situation? How do it's like obviously painful to see your partner emotional. So how do I fix that situation? But what I've learned from these podcasts and like just reading about this a lot, it's like it's not about fixing the situation. It's basically about creating a space where your partner can be emotional, and all you have to do is hold them and be supportive. And obviously, my wife's been a bit stressed. She's obviously got not just looking after me, but got to look after herself and all these other things. So there was a time when she was emotional, and I used that um, learning, and it was really good. I didn't try to fix the situation. I just held her, and she cried a huge amount, and I was like, "Look, I'm here for you, and get it all out." And emotions are a good thing. They're there, and you need to get them out. You shouldn't kind of block them. And I think about how much I've learned. Oh, geez, compared to like 2 years ago or a year ago, or like maybe even 2 years ago, where like if Becky was emotional, I would just literally freeze, and I'd just be like either trying to fix the situation or kind of ignoring it, and I just felt like overwhelmed with with her emotions because I obviously didn't wasn't able to get my emotions out like I am now, and so I was definitely just like I've become frozen. I'm not fight or flight, just frozen and overwhelmed. So I'm just thinking about if this situation happened like 2 years ago. We've been together about 6 years. Compared to now, just like my emotional maturity. I'm building my emotional muscle, as I like to say. It's a good analogy for it. It's a muscle which I've never really put much attention to, but is so important. And I think an area that especially men don't have good emotional role models. I think that's one of the main things, and because of that, we really don't develop that area. And there's societal pressures, and I won't go into all of that, but it's definitely an area that I've tried to be concentrating on, and actually probably the main area I've concentrated on through this whole treatment plan, and the area I've learnt the most, and I'm very very grateful for that. Yeah, showing emotion isn't a weakness at all. It's actually harder to show emotion than it is to keep it in. So, well, for me it has been. So it's been good and refreshing in that sense. And who knows where that journey is going to take me, but still continue to learn. It's not like I'm a master. I think out of 10, I'm maybe a 3. It's better than a 1. Yeah, I still have my list of emotions to describe my own emotions. But yeah, that's where I am. This video is probably getting pretty boring now. So, yeah, the main reason I wanted to film was like maybe it will give me some insights rather than just typing it all out, right? And it's nice to explain it and talk rather than type. So yeah, that's where I am, and I feel good. So bad. No, I feel like I am in a good place. I'm not. I don't think I'm resisting anything. Um, so that's a good way from the emotional standpoint. So yeah, that's about it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and cheers. I'll speak to you soon. Peace.